there's a good chance that you just got a loop pedal and it's just not sounding right. It's just not going the way you planned. What's up, my fellow troubadours? Let's be honest. If you're just getting started with guitar looping, you probably aren't that good at it. But don't worry, we all start out like that. And the good news is, I found it usually comes down to just a few big mistakes that we are making. So let me show you the 3 biggest reasons why your looping may suck and what you can do instead. If you want to dive deeper, I'll be running a beginner's looping masterclass coming up real soon if you want to join me. I'll drop links down in the description and in the pinned comment. But for right now, let's dive into the 3 most common looping problems and more importantly, what we can do to fix them. Let's get started. Before we do, please hit that subscribe and ring the bell so that you're notified when I drop a new video. It really does help the channel. And if you want to support, you could join my Patreon, buy me a coffee, or browse my Amazon and Sweetwater affiliate links. And if you want a private one-on-one lesson or consultation, be sure to just reach out to me via email to find out more. All right, the first reason your looping sucks, quite simply, is timing. Just like in real estate, it's location, location, location. Well, with looping, it's timing, timing, timing.
Oh, that's what it is. It's me. I did it. I got no timing. I got no timing. I got no timing.
But here's the thing. There's not just one kind of bad timing. There are 3 big ones when it comes to looping. You could mess it up when you step on the pedal to try to capture the loop. You could mess it up while you're actually playing. And you can mess it up when you're trying to stop the loop. And if you're really, really lucky like me, you'll mess up all 3 at once. Preferably while you're on stage in front of 200 people. Yeah, I've done that. All right, so let me show you the first timing trap. It's really quite simple, as most of these actually are. Just stepping on the pedal at the wrong time.
Talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I'm going to play a really simple strumming pattern, a down, down, up, down, up pattern, right? I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to show you how just not paying attention to when you step either into the loop or out of the loop can create a problem for you. It seems so simple, but it's easier said than done. Let's bring up the loop pedal here in my fancy socks. So let's just take a simple down, down, up, down, up pattern, right? We'll do D, A, B minor, G. Very common chord progression, right? Now, if I want to get a loop of this, obviously I have to click in to start my loop at the beginning of the pattern. But watch what happens if I'm just a little bit off. And I mean just a little bit off. I'm trying to get out at the end. Let's listen back. Now you watched me click into the loop, right? Let's see if I caught it. Oh, I didn't. I was just a wee bit too early. Let's stop that loop. And let's try it again. We're going to grab our loop. Now we have to grab our out point, right? Let's see how we do. We got it. Did I click it at the right time? Was my timing good or not? A little bit late. I wanted to be more late to illustrate a point. I was just a little bit late. Just a little bit late. You see how even the slightest little bit of timing can cause your loop to be off. So the timing of when we step on the pedal to capture our loop points is the first element of how timing affects our ability to loop properly. And the problem is when you grab a loop without the proper timing, it doesn't get any better. It just gets uglier and more off the longer it plays, especially if you're playing with other people. So if your loop is off, every layer that you might even think about putting after that is going to be doomed. In the masterclass, I'll show you some tricks that I use to make sure I nail the in and out points so that your loops actually feel tight instead of a little bit off, kind of like the ones that I just did here. Okay, so the next timing issue is a little bit more insidious than the first one, because let's say your pedal press is perfect, right? Your timing on the pedal is right on the downbeat, or so you think, and your out point is right on the downbeat as well, right? But you're not out of the woods yet, because the second timing trap is in your playing, and that's what makes this a tricky one, okay? The looper is unforgiving when it comes to issues in your playing. All right, so let's go back to our simple strumming pattern. So I have my down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. But let's say I'm having trouble switching the chords for some reason, or I'm glossing over the chord change, right? Something like that. So I'm in at the right point. But I played it sloppy. I'm trying to purposely play it. My loop is all over the place. I started at the right point. I ended at the right point, exactly in time with my hand and my foot. But I'm just not playing the phrase well. And a lot of times what happens is when we don't have something like a looper or a good drummer to check us, we aren't really playing the phrase as good as we think we are. So even though your stomp is right, the groove itself wasn't. So if your strum is off, that looper is just going to keep throwing that mistake right back at you, in your face. It gets even more confusing when we're dealing with pickup notes. That is a loop pattern or strum pattern or any kind of pattern that doesn't start on the one itself, but has a pickup to the one, right? So we may be not sure when exactly to step on the loop pedal. Let's take a phrase like this. The one is here. And one, right? We may be tempted to step on the loop at the beginning right here. Now that could throw us off if we're not really super clean about it because it's starting on a pickup. I got away with it that time. I was trying to mess it up on purpose because what I want to illustrate to you is that when a phrase starts on an upbeat, we want to press the loop pedal on the downbeat anyway and play through the entire phrase, okay? A little bit tricky, and I can show you in more detail how I do this, and I will do so in the class that I keep talking about. But that is something else to consider. Even if we're playing it properly, but the phrase doesn't really begin on the downbeat, but on the upbeat, we have to be extra careful about how we catch the loop. And you can grab it on the upbeat, but you got to be really, really sure of how that pattern goes, or you will not be able to do it properly. All right, so let's say now you've nailed the start, your groove is solid. Well, there's still one more way timing can trip you up, and that is when we have to stop the loop to like transition into another part of the song, or just stop the loop dead because maybe we want a dead silent part of the song. Let's say we have a groove-based song, something like Superstition by Stevie Wonder. So I grab this loop. We're singing Superstition by Stevie Wonder, right? Very superstitious, right? Writings on the wall. Everything's going good. Very superstition. Right? Now we got to get into the next part of the song. You believe in things. That's got to be exactly on point. If we don't step on that stop button, let me get to the stop button issue here. You need to have a looper if you're going to perform live, in my opinion, that has a dedicated stop button so that you can stop exactly where you want to. I'm going to put a link down in the description to some of the pedals that I like that are on Amazon or Sweetwater that you could buy that have dedicated stop buttons, okay? Otherwise, you have to double click. And that is almost impossible for a song like this. You believe it, leave it. It's so much can go wrong when you're trying to double click. Writings on the wall. Right? When you believe in things, you can do it. But it's not comforting to know you have to double click because you can't really double click exactly on a downbeat. You'd have to like time it out. And if the space between your double click is too long, the looper won't register it. Okay? Again. When you believe in things you don't understand, when you suffer superstition in. Okay? Now some tricks I can show you with how to position your feet so that you can set yourself up to have that pedal in time where you don't have to look at it, okay? So the last issue of timing is the stop button or the stop timing of your loop. So whether it's hitting the pedal to start, keeping your strumming steady, or dealing with pickups to the one, or cleanly stopping, timing is the number one reason that people have trouble with looping. Chewing on a piece of grass, walking down the road. Okay, what is my point in doing that? My point is, I started a song, Ventura Highway, right? I began a loop, but you didn't know that I was looping because it was built into the way the song goes on its own, right? Now, so the next point that I'm trying to make here is that you don't want to take too long to build your loop. And this is a mistake I see a lot of people do in these like singer-songwriter space or in the solo acoustic space. If you're a looper who people are coming to see because you do wild, cool stuff with the loop pedal, that's a different story. You know, you could build your rhythms and build all your stuff, and it could take you a minute and a half to get your loops going, if that's what people are there for. But if you're out there to perform songs and you're using a loop pedal, it's important that you make the building of your loops part of the performance of the song itself, right? So in this example of Ventura Highway, like I just did, I was building a loop as the song itself was starting. You wouldn't have known that I was doing that because it's part of how the song goes itself. You have to find those opportunities where you can grab a loop where you're still delivering other elements of the song at the same time. If you want to learn how I play Ventura Highway, I'll put a link down below. I have a full video on how I use the loop pedal to perform Ventura Highway by America. And it's a really cool song, and it goes over really, really well with the looper. Another one would be something like Sultans of Swing, right? Where we have two big solo sections, right? And again, Sultans of Swing, I have a video I'll post down below where I did a full video on how I performed Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits. Down below, I'll put the link. And so that's another one where you have that main riff. Right? That happens over this section. Right? You know that riff. There's a shiver in the park, it's raining in the dark. I just moved to a different section of the song. You didn't realize it, right? So now while I would be recording, there's a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the dark, but meantime, I'm actually grabbing the loop for that section too. It's two separate loops so that I could click on the loop I want when I want to take the different solos, because each solo in that song happens on a different loop. But if I just sit there and lay down all these loops first, the audience is not gonna know what's going on. They just hear me playing with all these things and laying down rhythms. You've got to make your loops built into the delivery of the song itself so that it really comes across as way more like, wow, what is this person doing? Let's say I'm doing I'm playing a chord progression. You don't really know what it is yet. You'll give me a little time to do it. Now you know what it is. Right? It's late in the evening. But if I just start doing that too long, you lose the audience. My guitar's a little bit out of tune on that. You have to excuse me. There we go. It's a little weird, but there we go. Gotta get the intonation set up on this. So that's a thing you gotta be careful of, right? Taking too long to build your loops. All right, and my third and final big reason that your looping may suck is, well, let me first talk about a question that I get asked all the time in my comments of my looping videos or by email. And that is, people want to know, how many layers can I add with my looper? And the truth is, you can stack layers kind of indefinitely, right? You could just keep piling layers on top of your loop. But just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it, right? And I think guitar players, we love to we always think like adding more is the answer, right? People do that in the recording studio too. I think they used to call Rick Rubin, instead of calling him a producer, they would call him a reducer. In other words, he would come to the recording and he would say, what could we remove from this, right? And that tendency goes into when we loop as well. We want to keep stacking parts on top of parts, right? But if we're not serving the song, we're just tinkering. And this is one of the biggest mistakes to make when you start out. You've got a good loop and then you think, oh, I'll add a bass line. Okay. Oh, I'll throw on a riff. I'll add some percussion. And not saying these are necessarily bad things, but we should have a reason for adding them. They should be adding something to the song itself and to the delivery of the song, right? It shouldn't just be something that we're doing for the sake of doing it. Otherwise, it's not tasteful, okay? We want to make sure that our loops remain clean sounding. So even if we grab a good solid loop, we don't just want to pile stuff on for the sake of doing it. Did I say that enough times in a different way? Okay. I could hear the comments now. Frank, you talk too much. Well, I'm just trying to get my point across to you. To keep it simple, less is more. A solid foundation and one or two extra little flavors is usually all that you need. That way your performance still has the energy and the room it needs to breathe so that they can relate to you, to what you're singing, to what you're playing. So to recap it all, the three biggest reasons your looping may suck is bad timing, taking too long to build, and overstuffing your layers with too much, piling up too much stuff, okay? Fix those three and your looping automatically will sound tighter. But there's a lot of other elements here that I can help you with. And if you're interested in that, take a look down below and check out my looping masterclass that'll be happening real soon. There's a link down in the description and in the pinned comments. I'd love to see you there at the live looping masterclass. It's going to be great. I'll be taking some questions at the end, and you'll get access to the replay as well. Link again is down in the description. So either way, my fellow troubadours, keep on looping. It's one of the best tools you can have for practice, songwriting, and for making your gigs stand out. As always, I'm Frank Persico. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.